Hey friends, it's Rana and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna tell you about all the books that I've read in August, how I failed Tometople Readathon, and why I disappeared for more than 2 weeks. So the first thing is why I've disappeared from BookTube for more than 2 weeks is because I've taken extra work which I didn't anticipate that will take a lot of time for me. And the second reason is because I've been struggling a little bit with my depression, but I am a little bit better now and I'm back and I will never leave again. The next thing is why I failed the Tometople Readathon is because I was going into a reading slump and the books that I was reading didn't help me with that. I will discuss them later on this video to explain more about this point. Now, for the books that I've read in August, the first thing that I've read is The Girl from the Other Side by Nagabe. If you can remember, last month I read the first volume and the second volume from this manga. And this month I started and finished reading volume 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I loved reading all of these volumes and I gave each one of them 4 stars out of 5. If you have never heard about this manga, it is about a faraway land where there are 2 kingdoms, the inside and the outside. The outside is where monsters/beasts live, and their touch could curse humans into turning to beasts and monsters like them. And there are another kingdom which is called the inside, where humans safely live. We follow the story and the cute relationship between a beast and a little girl. The series gradually become more and more intense, and I loved every single volume of these, but I need to wait for the next one to come out. But overall, great manga and I highly recommend it. The next book that I've read in August is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Iain Reid. I'm really torn about the rating of this book, whether to give it 4.5 stars or to give it 5 stars out of 5. I'm gonna decide when I'm editing this video. So now let me tell you about this book. This book was a total mindfuck for me, okay? Because it follows the story of 2 couples going into a trip to visit the boyfriend's parents. And the girlfriend throughout the book keeps thinking inside her head that she wants to break up with him and end their relationship. Hence the title of this book. I went into this book knowing nothing at all about the story. And when I started listening to the audiobook, every time the girlfriend said that she is thinking about ending things, I, on the other hand, was thinking about, I am really thinking about DNFing this book. And when I went into this book not knowing anything at all, I was shocked to find out that it is about a boyfriend and a girlfriend relationship. And I don't like these types of books, but the audiobook is really short, so I kept pushing myself to finish listening it, thinking that it might becomes better, and it become really, really better. That's all you need to know about this book, believe me. Just go and read it without going around and looking things up about it. You will love it, trust me. Listen to the audiobook. It's really, really, really good. Forget about the actual book reading it, just listen to the audiobook. It will make your reading experience 10 times better. It is a piece of perfection and it will make you understand the ending of the book. This book is turning into a movie and I watched the trailer and it looks really amazing. I think I'm gonna watch it during this week, and if I liked it enough, I'm gonna make a movie versus book video. The next book that I've read in August is Home Before Dark by Readathon. I think I've read 3 of his works and all of them I gave 3 stars, and my favorite of them was Lock Every Door. So Home Before Dark is about a family that buys a big house dirt cheap, and they only spend, I think, 3 weeks in that house before fleeing at night and never returning to it. And the father writes a book about the real events that happens in this house, and this book that he published becomes very popular and he makes a lot of money out of it. Many years later, the only daughter of this family, Maggie, inherits the house after the death of her father. When her father wrote the book and when she was in the house when she was young, She was too young to remember anything, but nonetheless, she doesn't believe a word of what her father wrote in his book. When she finally comes back to the house after all these years, strange things starts happening there, and she starts thinking that what her father wrote might be true. It was a really good read. Nothing about it was bad. I didn't dislike anything about it. It was enjoyable and fast-paced, but nothing mind-blowing happened either in this book, at least for me. But if you are interested in it, I highly recommend you to read it. It is really good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And now for the books that I was supposed to read for the Tometople Readathon. I was supposed to read Pretty Girls, The Lies of La Clamora, and 11/22/63. Pretty Girls, I'm gonna talk about it. I DNF'd it. 11/22/63, I finished it in August, but I didn't finish it in the Readathon. And The Lies of La Clamora, I wasn't in the mood to read it, and I still haven't picked it up. So the next book is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. It is basically about 2 sisters, and when they were young, their third sister disappeared. And now in the present time, more little girls are disappearing, and one of the 2 sisters starts believing that it has something to do to their lost sister. So I've heard from many people in their reviews and read in Goodreads reviews that it has gore and some violence in it, but I didn't mind that because I'm okay with reading about these things. But it turned out to be 1,000,000 times worse than what I expected. I believe that this book needs to have some trigger warnings for very, very detailed scenes of raping, torturing, and killing girls, and it doesn't have to be in that order. And when I reached the point in the audiobook where they start describing these things, I said, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this for myself, and stopped reading it. And I will never read a Karen Slaughter book again because most people say that her other books are even worse, and no thank you. I don't need that in my life. If you like reading about these type of things, I don't know what to say, go ahead and read it, but I really hate reading about these things. The book heavily relies on being revolting and shocking rather than being a good book with a good plot. Even the plot twist. Oh god, the plot twist. And let me tell you about the plot twist. I've only listened to 2 hours of this book, just to remind you. And after I decided to never ever finish reading this book, I went on YouTube just because I was a little bit curious about the plot twist and watched some reviews. And it turned out that I've saw the plot twist from far, far away from only listening to 2 hours of the audiobook. And if this doesn't say it is a bad plot twist, I don't know what does. It is totally disgusting and doesn't deserve all that hype. If you want to read a better thriller book, just go and read Home Before Dark. Believe me, it is much better. I gave Pretty Girls 1 star out of 5 because Goodreads doesn't have the option of rating a book 0 stars. The next book that I was supposed to finish in Tometople Readathon is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. It is my 3rd book by Stephen King, I think. The first one was Pet Sematary, which was 4 stars for me. The second one, The Long Walk, I think I gave it either 1 stars or 2 stars out of 5. And 11/22/63 I gave 4 out of 5 stars, even though it is totally different from Pet Sematary, but both of them got 4 stars from me. So 11/22/63 is a time travel book following a man who is an English teacher called Jake, who has a friend who tells him about a secret rabbit hole, which he wants him to use to time travel back to 1963 to stop the assassination of Kennedy. It is a humongous book, so it is obviously more than that, but I don't want to say anything more about the story because I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, as I said. I picked this book because I wanted to read a good sci-fi book about time traveling. I sometimes can accept some romance in the books that I'm reading, but I really don't want to read about people making love throughout the book, okay? I really love this book and would have gave it 5 out of 5 stars if there were no love making scenes, okay? I may or may not make a book review soon, no promises. My next read for August was another graphic novel called The Prince and the Dressmaker by Wang. All you need to know about this graphic novel is from the title, it is about a prince who likes to wear dresses and he's a dressmaker. It is so cute and I adored the drawing style. I highly recommend it if you are looking for a quick, feel-good read. 4 out of 5 stars. And I ended my reading for August with a bang by rereading one of my favorite books, Bird Box by Josh Malerman. The first time I've ever read Bird Box was 2 years ago, and I loved it the first time and I loved it the second time. I don't usually reread books, but I did it this time to prepare myself for the sequel Mallory, and because I also decided to finally give up and watch the Bird Box movie. Is there anyone who doesn't know what Bird Box is about? But let me tell you, it is about suddenly people starting to see things, creatures, and these creatures we don't know anything about, except that when we look at them, they cause people to harm or kill themselves and other people around them. I really don't know why I love this book this much. It's just the right amount of creepy for me. I suggest reading the book physically because it is more creepier and scarier for you to read physically, and you keep fearing for the life of the characters. I listened to the audiobook this time and I didn't find it very scary listening to it, so read it instead. Trust me, it is really creepy. So that's it for all the books that I've read in August. You may have noticed that now I have lights for shooting my videos. My next few videos may look a little bit funky because I'm still trying to figure out what is the best angle for the lights. I promise I'll try my best not to disappear once again. And because of my disappearance, I now have more than 150 videos on my watch later list because I didn't have time because of work to watch all of your videos, my friends. And now I'm back at it. So if you saw me commenting on one of your older videos, I'm not creepy. I'm just seeing it right now. So that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe to see my future videos and I will see you next time. Bye!